Hey, Pack, look what we got.
More stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jeff Collins, I'm going to tell you right now, for every coach in the Atlantic Coast Conference, regardless of sport, when you do make an appearance here in the basement,
Yeah.
Jeff Collins is setting the bar at a ridiculously high level. Just saying.
All right. We got helmet, Pack.
Well, not just a helmet.
No, we got like
We
a
have a signed
real
helmet.
helmet and signed helmet.
I know you had the gold one, so I wanted to bring the white.
Pack, you
the
got to
white
get
one in
that.
here.
You know,
Got
this would have
that.
fit an hour ago.
So that was the gray is the children's
That's
health
you.
care.
That's
I
you.
love it.
Yeah.
Yep. Children's health care.
So we each got shirts. And by the way, let us be the first show on the ACC network with a camp brochure.
Yeah.
Don't ever get that twisted. And
at Coach Collins camp.
Yeah, at Coach Collins camp. Sure, because that's where that is. How about us? Yeah. Don't worry. I like the look. Competition is king. Yeah. We got all this.
And you got to make sure you get the tail.
Yeah.
Right. We try to brand every spot like a NASCAR.
Pack, I think you need to sign at Mark Packer now from here on.
No. The bar is set. I'm just telling you.
Yeah. Get all you got. Come on.
If you're sitting in your office watching ACC Network, which every ACC world does, and you're like, I can't wait to hang out in the basement with the boys and the dogs. But I'm going to tell you what, Collins is making us all look bad.
Yeah.
I'm still blown away that this is literally a basement.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Yeah, come on.
Amazing.
Tell all your friends.
Yep.
All right. Tori McElhaney was with us last week. You and your fellow coaches at Georgia Tech, Todd Stansberry, all the people involved medically and professionals, Jeff, this situation with mental health in college athletics, have you been concerned about it before some of the events? And obviously one hits closer to home for you guys. But were you concerned a while ago, and now it's just surfacing nationally?
Right. So the first time I was exposed to it when I was at University of Alabama, my first year with Coach Saban, and we started, having people meet with psychologists, psychiatrists, and those kind of things, and started to begin the mental health piece. And then over the last 12, 13 years, you just see the importance of it in today's day and age. And, unfortunately, we've, had some, very sad events that have happened to us in the last year that are heartbreaking. And, you're trying to put things in place to make sure that your players have a safe space so they can reach out to people, so they can get the help that they need. Because people are going through things all the time that we don't know, and how we can delve into that and make sure that the student athletes that we get to coach and we're blessed to coach have a place where they can go talk and get some help and get some real solutions, in real time. And we're trying to be at the forefront of that, especially because it's so real and it's touched our program in such a profound way.
And it's not exclusive to Georgia Tech.
Sure.
This is an issue that, and it's great that it's become common knowledge, if you will, because you don't have to be a student athlete, just a regular person going to class, the pressures of being 18, 19, 20, the peer pressure, the social media aspects.
Yep.
And the fact you're trying to find your place in life.
Sure.
But if you throw in a student athlete on top of it and playing in front of 80,000 people and expectations and so forth, it's cool that people have been able to take ownership of it.
Right.
And I know that you feel great about being in the front of all that.
I do. And then we've got, our sports medicine team, Dr. Galante, who was there when you were there.
Yep.
They do a great job putting things in place. We've got a full-time, counselor just for the athletics department. And the nice thing about being in Atlanta, too, is we're able to go, and seek help within the city as well and on campus. We've got a huge mental health, priority. Dr. Cabrera, our new president, the initiatives that he's putting in place for the entire student body. I just think the access and being able to talk about it, because when we were growing up in a hyper-masculine sport, that wasn't something that was that you're supposed to do, or
it's looked upon as softness.
That's right. And we try to educate our guys and have open discussions with them. And I think I talked about the trust factor so much earlier, is that they know that we care about them as human beings and as people way ahead of just what they can do on the football field. And I think that trust in those relationships, when they are having a tough time, they feel that they can come and talk to anybody on our staff, and we're there for them. We love them. We support them, and we can give them access to the help that some of them really need in real time.
Is this something you and your peers have to make a priority in the next few years across the board?
100%.
I mean, the AFCA's got to get behind
Absolutely.
this initiative, not only what the NCAA and individual institutions are doing.
Right, absolutely, 100%. And we are, and whatever we can do, to be a spokesperson or a mouthpiece to help push the initiatives, we're all in on, because one tragic thing that can happen anywhere affects all of us. And, every time something happens, we lost Brandon Adams back in March last year. And then wherever, a tragic event happens at any other college football program or even high school football program, we make sure we address it. We send our thoughts and prayers and we send things. But it's just another reminder of what happened. Well, when those old scars get brought up, you make sure you have things in place to make sure our guys are supported. They have access to mental health professionals. So I think it's important, and every time it happens, it's going to open up some old wounds, and we want to make sure we're there to help our guys.
You mentioned the highs and the lows that you go through as a coach, a player, whatever the case may be, and you mentioned having some really tragic things that have happened to some players. I can only imagine that's brought you closer as a staff.
It has.
And as a team.
It has. And I told him whenever we, sadly lost Brandon, one of my first statements when we got together as a team that evening is just like, I've never done this before. They don't put this in the head coach's manual of how to handle this situation. And if I make a mistake, it's not because I've never been through this. I want to be as transparent as possible. I'm here for you. I love you. And this whole coaching staff is from the heart. And if I make a mistake, it's not because I'm trying to make a mistake. It's just we're trying to figure this thing out together. And I do think, looking back on it, that initial bit of transparency helped all of us. We had to sit in that room with Brandon when we had just lost Brandon. We had all of our coaches' wives, our families were there, to just make sure that, if they see my wife and she gives them a hug, she just cares about them, as a young man in our program, irrespective of how good of a football player they are.
Yeah. All right, we got a couple things here before we go. One, you're on the road today, and I've highly suggested that you go by the NASCAR Hall of Fame because the hat change and everything here has been eerily reminiscent of NASCAR, and you've done tremendous work. In fact, we have compiled – I want to make sure that all the people who you have taping this today get this next segment, because I feel like this is – and not understanding the culture and the branding and Morpheus and influencer and all that other stuff you have, but I feel like this next segment right here that we're going to roll tape on is really important for you.
Okay.
Because it's going to showcase exactly what you've done in this hour. Okay?
Fantastic.
And I think that that's something, Pac, that we, again, you've set the bar incredibly high here today, Collins.
No question about it.
As, everybody, America knows him as Jeff Collins. I knew him when he was Geoff Collins as the GA. No, but you've set an incredibly high bar today. And I told Pac, I said, if Collins comes in here, it's going to be up here. All right, you guys ready? Here it is. I want you to see this. There's one. Still sensory overload on Collins. There's two. Yeah. And we got to move through three. Huh? Look, yeah, stay down just a touch here. We got that loaded on. We got that.
That's the shot right there.
Yeah, there you go, right? There's your. I mean, did we do okay for you?
That's really good.
Yeah.
It's like I was here 5 times.
We're going to do a best of show, and we're going to have 5 different shows, and you're going to be on all of them.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
How many times is Collins on that show?
That's the way it's supposed to be.
Take us through spring. How important is it here in our last minute or so?
Sure.
What do you want to accomplish in the spring? And man, you lit up a spring game last year. I can only imagine what you got planned this year.
And it's actually on my birthday this year, Friday night, April 10th, Bobby Dodd Stadium.
April 10th?
At night, yes, sir. It's going to be a big event. And here's how we make our team. And I alluded to the fact Matt Rule is the head coach of the Carolina Panthers, one of my closest friends. The way we do things is the team is really made in January and February, right before spring ball.
Okay.
The offseason work that we do, Lou Corrales, our head strength coach, does an amazing job with our football team. The demeanor, the attitude, the work ethic, the grit, the toughness, all the things that we preach are forged in January and February before we even get to the football piece of it. So we'll have our first workout next Wednesday, or 2 Wednesdays on signing day. While everybody else is worrying about the faxes and the emails and the DocuSigns of all the signees, we will be in Mercedes-Benz Stadium at 5:30 in the morning working out our football team. Because that's what matters, the development of our players. We played with great effort last year, and we got to make sure we have the grit and the toughness to take another step in our development. So the January and February piece is the huge piece for us as a culture and as a program, and what we're doing with that. Club 1010 is in full effect. That is internal messaging. There's wristbands, Club 1010, there's T-shirts, but the messaging, the football team knows exactly what it means, and we've got to get incrementally better, and that is helping us do that at a high level.
Well, we want to thank you for making the effort. And
Absolutely.
I know that Monday you were supposed to be here, a little technical issue.
Yep.
First class problem.
So when they say the engine's out, I'm like,
don't go.
We're good.
No, we're good.
But I will say, though, for future reference, if you need to bring the helicopter, we've got room.
Yes,
We got room for the helicopter.
We don't.
Yeah, we do. Amy Rosenfeld, our boss, that's where she flies in.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, my man. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me on.
bet.
Appreciate it.
All right, when we come back, busy weekend of ACC basketball, a little bit of the glob involved.
It is.
And we got one stat per game. Seth Greenberg, Muffet McGraw still to come in the Power Hour. Packer and Durham on ACC Network, Sirius XM 371, and the ESPN app.